Hey, what's up guys, and welcome back to another ultimate review by Purocast9. In today's episode, you're going to get the most in-depth and unbiased review of the Oppo Enco M31 wireless earphones. So there's a lot of excitement about these, and Oppo has claimed a number of really exciting features that these have. So is it all true or is it just the hype? I'm going to give you my verdict on that in just a bit. So before I give you that, let's talk about some of the specs or the claimed features that the M31s have. So Oppo claims that this has LDAC wireless audio transmission. So LDAC basically offers 3 times more data, audio data. So the more the data, the more the detail and the richer and fuller and more good, in plain terms, the sound or the music you're listening to is. But there's a catch to this. You need to have an Android phone which has the LDAC feature. It won't work on Apple phones because they don't separately have this feature. But if you have an Android phone and your music player or the phone separately has an LDAC feature, you can turn it on, and you're using or you're listening to a track which is lossless like FLAC or WAV, something like that, not MP3 because MP3 is very compressed, then and only then can you get the full range or spectrum of sound, and it'll sound good. Apart from that, Oppo also claimed that the M31s have high-res audio because it has a broader spectrum of frequencies that these earphones can render. So they claim that it's up to 40,000 kilohertz. So I'll tell you that in my verdict. Now the earbuds themselves have 9.2mm titanium drivers inside. Not bad. Apart from that, Bluetooth version 5 charges via USB-C, IPX5 water and dust resistance, a dedicated bass mode. The earbuds themselves are magnetic, so they have magnetic backs. So once you're paired, each time you separate the earbuds from one another, it automatically pairs to the device, and as soon as you put them back together, they unpair and turn off, thus saving battery and also staying securely on your neck. Earbuds themselves are very comfortable and extremely light. There is no metal involved in the whole construction, and that shouldn't give you any impression that it is cheap, because this feels anything but cheap. It's super light, but the finish, the feel, with this green color especially and the gold accents, it looks premium, feels really good to the touch, and is very, very comfortable to the ear. They come with different size ear tips, so make sure you find the right fit and you're good to go. On the left hand side, on the left hand module, you have the multifunction controls. So the volume rockers, a small LED light, and a power button. Now the power button also functions as your pairing button, play pause button, answering calls button, and to turn on the bass mode. The volume buttons can also be used to skip tracks, so go to the previous track, and that's pretty intuitive, or you can always give the manual a read. Now let's go into the sound. How did these perform? How did they sound? Was it really as good as Oppo claims? In a word, yes. I was pleasantly surprised. And guys, in all my years of testing earphones, I've tested so many, and slowly you mature as you hear. The Oppo M31s sound so good, so detailed, so crisp. So let me break it down. The 3 frequencies that make up any sound that you hear are highs, mids, and lows. So how did these earphones produce the highs, which are the sharp sounding instruments or any sort of frequency on the higher end? Highs were crystal clear, not over-processed. In my hearing, they didn't sound unpleasant, crystal clear, no distortion at max volume, and maintained very, very good separation from the mids and the lows. So they weren't eating each other up, maintained separation, and sounded really good. Coming to the mids, where the vocals are, this is one place, in addition to the highs, that many earphones get wrong. They either make the vocals or the mids too bright, too upfront, which sounds artificial and hollow, and it loses the natural warmth of the voice, that tone. The M31s have excellent rendition of vocals. Vocals sounded warm, sounded natural, sounded sharp, and not artificial. Now guys, just keep in mind that while I'm saying this, this is me giving you feedback while the bass mode is turned off, which is in balance mode, and they'll give you an audio confirmation that when you're listening to it, as soon as you pair it, it's in balance mode. Once you double press the power button, you go into bass mode. I'll give you what it sounded like in bass mode, but in balance mode, vocals very, very impressive. The bass in balance mode is just right. It doesn't overwhelm. If you're a bass head, it'll underwhelm you because it is very balanced. It's not absent, but it's far less compared to what the bass mode offers. But if your track has bass, you definitely get that punch. Now we come to the bass mode. Once you turn this on, the whole spectrum hits you and the bass is super punchy, super thick. And there is that sub bass, the sub lows that really reverberate in your ear and sound really good. And if you're a bass head, you're gonna be happy. It sounds really, really good and the tracks sound much fuller. But if you're a purist, you can go without the bass mode. But again, some tracks, whether it's dubstep or any sort of pop track or whatever you're listening to, if you like bass, you always have the option of turning it on. Now, one thing I've noticed is that with the bass mode on, the earphones add a sort of reverb or echo to the vocals. And this becomes clear because when you start and stop the music with the bass mode turned off, the music stops immediately. As soon as you turn on the bass mode and you're listening and you suddenly skip to the next track or pause the music, you hear that reverb in the music. It sustains itself. So there is a sort of sustained remnant of that sound which is there. So that, in my opinion, that basically is messing around with the music you're listening to. If there is no reverb in the track, the earphone shouldn't add it. But this is me being really, really picky. It sounds great, and probably any general listener will not notice it. But because I've listened to so many types of earphones, this struck me and it's something you should know. If you don't believe me, if you get this, you'll know. But leaving that aside, this sounds very, very, very good. Now, I haven't had the opportunity of listening for prolonged hours, so I can't tell you if after prolonged listening time, whether the highs and mids get a bit annoying, but with the time I've had with this and I've heard it, I can't complain. The highs don't sound unpleasant at all and vocals sound so good. The three frequencies maintain excellent separation. The bass does not eat up the mids or the highs. The mids, the vocals sound very warm, very pristine and nice separation from the highs and the lows. So all in all, out of 5, I would definitely give these earphones a 4.8. I like it that much. It's lightweight, Bluetooth version 5, no lag or delay when I'm watching videos and hearing the sound through these earphones. All in all, I love it. I plan to compare this with the Realme Buds Wireless and the OnePlus Bullets Wireless Z. That's a weird name. I plan to compare them with these, so then I'll know which is actually on top or if they're the same. But speaking of just the Enco M31, I love it. So I definitely recommend that if you are looking for a earphone with that 2000 rupee budget in your mind, this is excellent. So guys, that's been my review. I hope you found this helpful. Do give this video a thumbs up. And if you do decide to get these earphones, please use the link in the description below. It'll help me run this channel. It'll cost you nothing extra, but it'll help me produce more content just for you guys. Thank you so much for stopping by. Subscribe to Purocast 9 and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Cheers.